All right. I have another question that I want to review. Like I said in the videos that I've been posting recently on YouTube, that I want to check out just questions and try to analyze them, specifically for persons also that are preparing for post-UTME exam into any of the schools, and also foundational knowledge that you ought to know in chemistry. So quickly, I have a question here that I want us to check out. And what question is that? The question is particularly based on salts and their solubility. Now look at the question. They said, which of the following cannot be prepared by double decomposition reaction? They said, which of the following cannot be prepared by double decomposition? Now, for us to really try this question, we have to realize that all these options here, all of them are salt. This is barium carbonate, this is lead chloride, this is potassium chloride, this is silver chloride. Now, all of them are salts. Now, the method, listen to this point, the method employed in the preparation of salts is dependent on the solubility of the salts. Now look at it. Look at that statement again. The method that we apply to prepare a salt is based on the solubility of the salt. That is to say, in preparing salt, I have to know if the salt is soluble or if the salt is insoluble in water. Now, look at it. Salts that are insoluble in water are prepared by double decomposition, and I can also prepare those salts by direct combination. Now, but basically, salts that are insoluble in water are prepared by double decomposition. Now, look at what the question is saying. They say, which of the following cannot be prepared by double decomposition? Now, they are trying to tell me indirectly that which of the following salt is soluble. Do you get the logic now? Because normally to prepare an insoluble salt, I will apply double decomposition. So if they are asking me which cannot be prepared at double decomposition, that means they're indirectly asking me which one of them is soluble in water. Now, remember, like we said, salts that are insoluble in water are prepared by double decomposition. Like I rightfully said, we need to be analyzing each of the options. The answer is already there staring at us. The answer obviously is what? Is C, potassium chloride. Now, potassium chloride is a soluble salt. Now, let me give you a tidbit. How do you know salts that are soluble? Salts that contain sodium and potassium are soluble in water. Now, look at it. That means if I come to this place now and I say Na2CO3, this is sodium carbonate, it's actually soluble in water because it's sodium salt. Likewise, if I say NaCl, our normal common salt they use for house, which is sodium chloride, this salt is also what? Soluble in water. Now, potassium chloride obviously is soluble in water. Therefore, I cannot prepare potassium chloride by double decomposition. Why? Simply because potassium chloride is soluble in water. Now, another thing that you should be asking yourself now is, how then do I prepare potassium chloride since potassium chloride is soluble in water? Now, salts that are soluble in water are commonly prepared by neutralization reaction. Now, let's take that reaction. So if I want to prepare potassium chloride now, which method will I apply, or how do I prepare it? I'm going to use neutralization reaction, which is simply the reaction between an acid and a base to form salt and water. Now, which actual acid and which actual base I can use to prepare sodium and potassium chloride? Now, let's check it out quickly. Now, so if I want to prepare potassium chloride, I will come here and I will say that HCl, which is hydrochloric acid, reacting with potassium hydroxide to give me what? To give me obviously KCl plus H2O. Obviously, now look at it. Now look at it. So you can see very well that I have succeeded in preparing this salt, which is potassium chloride. Now, this method of preparing salt is specifically mostly for salts that are soluble. So if I want to prepare insoluble salt categorically, I'll use the method of double decomposition. Now, let me take a quick analysis of that double decomposition. What do I do to prepare a salt now by double decomposition? Now, remember we said that this is silver chloride. Now, this silver chloride is insoluble in water. So if I want to prepare silver chloride, what method will I apply in preparing silver chloride? First off, the reaction to prepare silver chloride, I'm taking option D now. I want to analyze option D. This is silver chloride. Now I will say AgNO3, this is silver nitrate, plus NaCl to now give me what? What will it now give to me? Of course, the silver will now be silver chloride plus NaNO3. Now look at what is happening on the board. If you want to look at this critically, you will notice something, that in this double decomposition method, that an insoluble salt is formed at the end of the reaction. So look at it. This NaNO3 is soluble. How do you get to know? First thing I said here just now, that sodium salts are soluble. That is not just it. Triazonitrate 5 salts are soluble in water. So triazonitrate 5 salts are what? Are soluble in water. So I'm preparing in double decomposition is an insoluble salt. And a soluble salt is actually what? Is actually formed. Now let's take another instance. For instance, let's take another instance. Okay, let's look at lead chloride. How is lead chloride prepared? So equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. How do I get to prepare lead chloride? Now it will be the reaction between lead triazonitrate plus NaCl to now give me what? Lead chloride plus NaNO3. Now to balance up the equation, of course you can see here again categorically that an insoluble salt and a soluble salt is actually what? Formed. Now let's look at another method. So if I want to now prepare barium carbonate, Roman figure 4, what will I do? It will be the reaction between a barium chloride and what? And barium and sodium carbonates. Now what will this reaction give to me? Obviously I will now have barium carbonate plus NaCl. Of course you can see here again that this sodium chloride is formed as a soluble salt. So we don't used to waste time in videos like this. So categorically you have seen the way we analyze these particular questions, straight to the point. You get the picture. So that's what we do in MOSJARO channel. So look at the question now. You see how we have gotten our points. Which of the following salts cannot be prepared by double decomposition? Remember, for us to know a salt that is prepared by double decomposition, we need to know the solubility of the salt. That's why we said that the factor that determines the preparation of a salt is the solubility. So when a salt is insoluble in water, the salt is commonly prepared by what? Double decomposition. So that's how we got our answer. So since potassium chloride is soluble and it cannot be prepared by what? Double decomposition. So I gave you the method that we can use to prepare what? Potassium chloride, which is simply by neutralization reaction, reacting an acid and a base to form a salt, and of course obviously water. Now the rest options, we have to analyze them. So how are they prepared? So that's why I brought out this equation. So quickly now, so we did one straight to the point. This is one question analysis that we brought out today. Now obviously more videos will be coming up, but for you to get notification on this video, do well obviously to subscribe to MOSJARO channel, and do well to share after watching the video, and of course comment. Obviously you go please state some topics where you want where we say more treat for this channel. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'll see you in another question analysis with MOSJARO. So thank you very much for watching.